Just as I predicted, Video Game Storytime were very quick to rush upload a video talking about Paper Mario: The Origami King. Their discussion is about how this is the first game where elements of horror come into play, but you'll quickly realize how that is not the case at all.
Watching the trailer for Paper Mario: The Origami King, everything is delayed. Everything is delayed. It's clear that this game has a very different tone to a traditional Mario title.
Okay. How is this different other than the fact that you have origami characters? Let's find out.
Princess Peach has been possessed by some kind of terrifying origami force.
Oh, so Princess Peach was possessed? You mean that's never happened before in a Paper Mario title? I guess you're right.
Transforming into an origami monster, she casts Mario into a pit, and it seems that the challenge this time is not just rescuing the princess, but fighting to avoid losing your very soul.
Wow, so rather than fighting to save your life, you are fighting to save your soul. Is there really a difference between the two? I kinda don't understand where you are going, if that actually surprises you.
Even if these elements from the trailer don't make up a large part of Origami King's actual narrative, there's no denying it. The game looks downright creepy.
Hello, Ruth. Hi, Marge.
You might think that Paper Mario is a strange game series to embrace horror tropes a la Invasion of the Body Snatchers or Get Out. In reality though, the creative teams behind the Paper Mario series have been pushing for creepy gameplay for a long time.
But wait, I thought you said this new Paper Mario game had a much different tone. Now you are saying that they all have dark, creepy elements to them? Whoever is writing this script really needs to take his time and not rush to get a video uploaded. If I wrote an article and I had a big-ass contradiction in it like this one, either my editor or the client would notice and I'd be in big trouble.
All of the Paper Mario games have played with spooky environments to some degree, because the developers genuinely think it's funny. In an Iwata Asks interview from all the way back in 2012, the developers of Paper Mario Sticker Star explained how they'd been trying to incorporate horror elements into their game, and how it hadn't exactly been well received. While working on an area which would become Drybake Stadium, the character design group, which produces and supervises all Nintendo characters, wanted to make some Egyptian mural-inspired characters for Mario to meet.
Wait, are you talking about these? How are these dark and creepy, and what do they have in common with Peach, other than they are meant to be alternative forms of Mario characters? Really? This is the example you are using? I can think of several creepy plots and characters from a handful of Mario games in the RPG genre.
This led to the creation of Mural Koopas, Mural Goombas, and Mural Toads, which all have exaggerated long limbs, a little like real humans. They fall squarely into the uncanny valley, which the team felt was part of the joke. When they showed them to other people, the response was, "Gross!" At first, the team was pleased, as this had been the response they'd been hoping for, but then they realised that, no, people weren't enjoying this. The designs were creepy and off-putting. So the team experimented with a lot of different designs, but nothing felt right. They really wanted to go the creepy horror route, it just felt funniest. In the end, they decided to try and get their original designs approved by showing them to Shigeru Miyamoto. When they showed him one of the designs, Shigeru thought it was very funny. He even said, "Why don't you make it even more disgusting?"
Is this really something to go into extreme detail on? You are talking about a puzzle from one title and comparing it what you call an entire plot in another.
Producer Kensuke Tanabe said, "The Super Mario games have an orthodox lineage that Miyamoto-san thought up as its creator, so while Paper Mario as part of that must preserve certain things, I think there is a point to tackling new and unusual things. As such, it makes sense that Paper Mario: The Origami King pushes this kind of joke even further. With overly cute paper cutout characters, there's room for experimentation, and that includes giving a game creepy undertones that even outspook Luigi's Mansion."
So which is it? Is this the first Paper Mario game to include creepy undertones, or has it been a running theme?
So why use origami monsters as villains? Well, this ties into the core Paper Mario design philosophy. In the same Iwata Asks interview, Taro Kudo explains that the driving mentality behind a Paper Mario game is, use as many paper ideas as you can. The teams who make these games think about all the different ways that people use and play with paper in order to inform the game's mechanics. For example, Taro says, for battles, we thought about how you could do damage to paper, like by folding it, getting it wet, and burning it. Folding paper takes center stage this time, as Mario faces off against King Ollie.
Wait, what? So you are torturing paper by folding it? This is a ridiculous comparison. You're connecting an 8-year-old interview with a new game concept. They came up with origami not because it's seen as torture, but because it's a new art form. Paper Mario, Kirby, Yoshi, these game series have experimented with different art styles so that each new game doesn't feel the same as the last one. Origami is the equivalent of yarn in a new Yoshi game or clay in a new Kirby game. In other words, you're making up a story just for views. Surprise, surprise.
The eponymous Origami King. This villain possesses Princess Peach, uproots her castle, and seals it shut with paper streamers. In true horror story style, Mario and his friends have to avoid Ollie's magic.
Because when I think of horror, I think of bright blue skies, colorful streamers, and that classic adventure. Does this really look like horror? I kinda wish you would clarify and show us why you believe this. This looks like a typical adventure RPG. Where is the darkness? Did you only watch the first 10 seconds of the video?
Or else have their free will overpowered as they turn into folded soldiers. It's an interesting use of the concept of origami and how folding paper in a certain way can turn it into something completely different. Now, to be clear, from official Nintendo sources, it's evident that the Origami King isn't actually meant to be scary. This is a parody of a horror story.
Oh my god. I have never seen a video with so many contradictions from an account with that many subscribers. So is it a parody, or is it an actual horror game? First you argue that Peach in origami form was meant to set the tone for the entire game. Now you're saying it's not a horror game at all, and that it's a spoof of a horror game. You know what the truth is though? The truth is you don't know what you are talking about.
Poking fun at its tropes by showing how ridiculous they look when applied to colourful paper characters. When asked about the future of the Paper Mario series back in 2016, Kensuke Tanabe reiterated the design philosophy that had been taught to him by Shigeru Miyamoto. When you develop a new game, the game system has to be novel and creative.
This has nothing to do with how you are trying to prove how Paper Mario Origami King is supposed to be a darker, horror-themed game.
At this point, it's impressive that Nintendo are still finding new ways to make Paper Mario games stand out. And the idea of using horror tropes in this setting is sure to make a unique entry in this beloved long-running series.
So apparently, this is the first Paper Mario game to introduce horror. Bowser creating a flying fortress to lift Peach's castle into the sky? The X-Nauts trying to take over the world? An evil Count trying to destroy the dimension? Why stop at Paper Mario? In Super Mario RPG, you fight enemies in the grotesque-looking square soft art style. In Mario & Luigi, you stop an evil witch and battle her soul. In Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, you travel inside a giant monster. In Mario & Luigi Dream Team, you encounter several weird and bizarre happenings. So, no, this is not the first Paper Mario game, let alone a Mario game, to show elements of horror. That's just not true. Are we supposed to pretend like all those other Mario games don't exist? Is it me, or am I getting tired of that voice? I wonder how she sounds normally.